Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show 194 with yours truly, the hippie pastor. That would be me. Now, the main subject of this show is that Jesus had sex, that Jesus was a womanizer, that he loved women, that he enjoyed the gift of sex, the gift that his father created, not Satan or Lucifer. The Christian religion, after Jesus was gone away, through the Apostle Paul, tried to make sex and women evil. Like the Apostle Paul said that women didn't have the same spiritual rights as men and that they should cover their heads with a veil in the house of God, and shame because Eve beguiled Adam. Also, they said that if a woman has a comment to make within the church of God, the congregation, she should hold it and only share it with her husband when they get back home. They didn't have the same equal rights according to the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul was a bachelor. He didn't have a woman, and he believed that it was better for a man not to have a woman so he could dedicate himself to spiritual things. That's where the whole thing of the Catholic Church came up, with the priests believing that abstinence, and the nuns, that abstinence from sex made them closer to God, which is completely the opposite. Abstinence from sex doesn't make you closer to God. It makes you more far away from God because you're negating a beautiful gift of love that he gave you to perform in the name of God, in the name of beauty, in the name of love, in the name of the pleasure that God gave us, and also for procreation purposes. Okay? So that's what happened there. The Apostle Paul really contradicted God because God said in Genesis, I believe it was in Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, God said, "It is not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a helpmeet." And so he brought Eve to Adam when he was sleeping. So God said the opposite of the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul said it is better not to have a woman, and God said it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. And he made Eve for Adam. Okay? So there's definitely a difference there. And so there's some misinterpretations in the Bible, like in Matthew chapter 5, there's a part where Jesus says that he that looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery already with her in his heart. In other words, it's wrong to look at a woman with desire. This is ridiculous. Jesus was just being sarcastic, answering the hypocrisy of the Pharisees, who condemned adulterers, but they were all adultering and lusting in their hearts, and sometimes behind closed doors in the closet, because sex is such a necessity in all creation that men kill for sex. They don't kill for a piece of bread. God made it that way. So sometimes people use anything. You could use a gun for a good purpose, or you could use it for an evil purpose. We're talking about using it for a good purpose, a purpose of love, right? So there. And then there's another part where Jesus was talking with the Pharisees again or something, and they told him that they asked him that if in heaven, like a woman had married these several men, and then in heaven, whose wife would she be? And Jesus said that in heaven they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God. So a lot of people believe that means to mean that there's no sex in heaven. That's baloney and bullshit. There's going to be lots of sex in heaven, loving sex. Sex in love and happiness and joy. Even God has sex, okay? Or else you wouldn't be here. So it's like, what he was talking about was that the angels of God, we've talked about them already, how they're sexy, and they came down upon the daughters of women, of men, the daughters of men. They liked them. They were sexy. The angels are sexy. So what he meant was that there's not going to be no private possession. They shall not be given in marriage, like they were given in marriage without making a choice, right? So back in the day. So what he meant was that in heaven we're all going to be free like the angels, no private possession. We're all equal. Jesus was promoting feminism, equality between men and women. That's why when they wanted to stone the adulterous woman, he told them, "He that has not had a sin, let him cast the first stone." And they went away ashamed and embarrassed because they were all probably lusting after her in their hearts. So there's the hypocrisy. And if you look and study the Bible for yourself, you'll realize that Jesus had many women followers, women who followed him, who supported him. But Christians tried to erase that. They tried to, make that, put that under the table, sweep it under the rug. They wanted to make believe that they were all men. It's all men's club, Just like they believe that the Trinity is three men, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Three penises ruling the universe. When it's very clear to see that the Holy Ghost is a female God, the goddess of heaven, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. They always put the women at the end in those days. So that's why it was Father, Son. The Holy Ghost is a female. That's why in Genesis chapter 2, Jesus says that he was talking in plural before he created man. He was talking in plural. He said, let us make man, meaning mankind, in our image. Male and female created he them. Let us make mankind, in our image. Male and female created he them. So female were also created in the image of God, the goddess. There was a perfect family, the Father, the Mother, and the Son. And now we're all sons thanks to Jesus, who came, he's the Son of God, who came to make us all children of God and free, no matter what color your skin, what country you're from. We're all equal. There's no chosen people. The chosen people are the entire planet. Thank you very much. So there you have it, more or less that's what I wanted to say today. So there's a lot of discrepancies and misinterpretations, that they created in the Bible. And, it's been to my understanding that there was a special woman in the life of Jesus, not Mary Magdalene. She was a rich woman of whom he cast out several devils, and she was one of his financial supporters. And several other women. In John chapter 8, you'll see that they gave, he supported Jesus, his ministry, because he had left his job to go preaching the gospel, to go into all the world. So there were several women, but there's one in particular that I'm keen on, which lived in Bethany. Very important. Oh, Bethany, Bethany, how important thou art. Right? When he was angry at the fig tree, where did he come from? From spending the night in Bethany. Huh? When right before he went flying into the sky like Peter Pan, where did this take place? In Bethany. And who was the woman who massaged and kissed his feet? Mary, the sister of Martha and the sister of Lazarus, and they lived in Bethany. And who was Mary? And what was the difference between Martha and Mary? Martha was encumbered about with service, very nice of her, but Mary just wanted to sit at his feet and listen to his words. And Jesus said of Mary, "This shall never be taken away from you." It's been my understanding that after he rose again, which he did in the flesh, Jesus rose again in the flesh, no ghost, no spirit. He was in the flesh. He even ate. So he had power to raise from the dead, but he didn't have power to fly in the air like Peter Pan. Why did he go to Bethany, and why did they say that outside of Bethany he went flying into a cloud? Because Bethany is probably where he picked up Mary, his love, and they went into exile to live a normal life after having concluded his mission. Okay, so he probably had children and grandchildren. Don't bother looking for them. It doesn't really matter. You'll meet them when we all get to the kingdom come, to paradise. So that's what I wanted to say today, was that please, we need to get rid of this evil doctrine that sex is evil. It is not. It is good. Anything can be used for good or for evil, but generally speaking, it was the most glorious creation of God and makes a lot of sense. And all nature does it. Insects, animals, everybody's into it because it gives such pleasure. How wise for God to have made sex with such a pleasurable event, or else nobody would be doing it, and there would be no multiplication, no, of the species, So he made it to be such a pleasurable event that some people take it by force. So I had to say, which is not a nice thing. Be a gentleman. Bring some flowers or something, okay? Okay, so then there you have it. That's basically it. Jesus had sex, plenty of sex, good sex, because he had a clean heart, a heart of love, okay? And don't believe this false doctrine created by Christianity, by the Apostle Paul, that sex is evil. Thank you, I gotta go.